One. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting film journey here on Delusions of Grandeur. I am one of your hosts, but today we are going to be going on about a film that my fiance put forward here. And from what I know, it's a film from 1996. But what movie did you subject us to this year? Or wait, not this year, this week.
Uh,
Dragonheart.
Alrighty. And Dragonheart is directed by Rob Cohen. Which, give me a moment here. This is written by Patrick Reed Johnson and Charles Edward Pogue. It stars Dennis Quaid, Sean Connery, Dinah Meyer, among many others. Let's see if I can come up with a few others. Oh, Pete Postlewaite, with which, if you know anything about him, he was in Jurassic Park: Lost World, Romeo and Juliet. I believe he's been in several other movies besides. Let's see. Young Einen was played by Lee Oakes. Oh, didn't know that young Kara was played by someone else entirely. But see who played David Thewlis was the guy who played older Einen, and he has played in the Harry Potter series. If you don't know anything about him, as Professor Lupin, I think he played the werewolf character in there. But
oh, that's
yep,
him.
yep, that's him younger. So, but
Oh,
in
wow.
any case, let's see. Let's see what IMDb says about the film. The last dragon and a disillusioned dragon slaying knight must unite to stop an evil king who was granted partial immortality. So, uh, Tammy, did you want to bring us into first impressions?
Sure. I'll go first. I saw this film the day it came out. My boyfriend at the time was a big dragon fanatic, so we went to go see it, and I it's one of my top five. I don't never get sick of watching it. Um, I think they did an awesome job by picking Sean Connery to be the voice of Draco. And I had watched some behind the scenes on this one about how they kind of like molded the dragon's face up around Sean Connery, so for the expressions and everything. And I think they did an awesome job. I mean, I've seen lots of dragon movies, and I think that this they did such a good job that this is a very as realistic as you can possibly get, you know, without looking um too CGI'd or whatever. I mean, I think you know, um, like when Jurassic Park came out and how the dinosaurs look so real. I think whoever made Draco had did a really good job too. Um,
Yes.
I mean, I like this. The storyline is good and everything, and I think this is definitely a movie that um, lots of no, you don't have to be an adult to enjoy it, and um, even even preteen, I would say would enjoy this. It is not something that I think parents would be like, oh. because there's not really any sex in it. There's not an overly amount of violence in it, you know, and
Uh,
it's got good morals. So I think it's a very good all around movie that way, you know. So
cool.
I really enjoy it for all the different aspects of it. So how about you, Boris?
Was this the first time watch for you?
No and yes. I, as a kid, I stumbled upon this movie on TV and I saw some portion of it, not the whole thing. And later I heard that it ends with the dragon dying, that it's not an ending I would usually prefer. So as shameful as it is, I never took the time to watch it. Although now I see that I probably should have watched it because even though I admittedly would have preferred if the dragon had not died at the end, the whole story was built so that his death actually is maybe sad but still fitting ending for his character.
It's a very noble death. It goes with the whole theme of the knights and the nobility and the, you know,
Oh yeah.
it wasn't just that he got killed, you know. It was just, you know what I
It
mean.
was he could live on than the stars and look down on us forever. But that is an ending that I think is a spoiler alert. So
Oops. Right.
spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen, those who haven't seen the ending yet or understand the ending yet. But that being said, carry on.
Did
Is
you have
that
anything else to say?
it then?
uh, Well, I actually enjoyed the movie more than I expected. I didn't expect it to be bad in general, but I did expect the ending would disappoint me. But in the end, it was better than I expected. So yeah, I'm glad I saw it after all.
Cool.
Little bit of a alert. Watch part two.
Oh, there is a cartoon version.
Nope. Watch part two.
Ah, part two.
Dragonheart, a new beginning. I believe the second one was called.
Uh, oh, interesting. Dragonheart 2.
Well, it's not called two, but you know what I mean.
Uh,
It's called Dragonheart: A New Beginning.
Yeah,
I
there's a total I think of five
Yep.
movies, but out of all five of them, this one's my favorite, and the second one is I like a lot too. I'm kind
interesting.
of with the rest of them,
Ha.
but you'll
Okay.
get a if you get a chance to watch the second one, you'll get a kick out of it. I think
Well, maybe you can put forward the second one, one your second time around.
that's a thought.
Sounds
but
like a food.
but in any case, I suppose it's my turn. Now, I actually did see this in the theater. Maybe not the first day. I'm not that kind of a special person where I go where I try to go on the first day. I never have enough money to go on the first day of most. Uh,
Well, like I
uh, uh, uh,
said, you know, my boyfriend at the time was a big dragon fanatic. You know, he had um, trinkets all over. You know, and stuff, and he was huge into dragons. So it was 6 of us that went.
Hmm.
And when we went to go see it, it was sold out the first showing. We had to buy our tickets in advance to see the second one.
I would have to say that when I went and saw it, it had to have been mid theatrical run. Maybe even like when it like went to the budget cinemas. Yeah, when we used to have budget cinemas,
Right. Well, there was no way Bob was waiting that long.
because there were actually actual theaters devoted to having a budget.
Mhm.
I saw many movies at the budget. The one on Highway 100, especially.
I went to the one in Oak Creek for the Oak Creek Valley. It was the one I went to a lot. So, but
They don't
I,
exist anymore.
they don't exist anymore because we can't even have a budget. But in any case, that's what kind of United States we live in. But anyways, uh, moving on. So I saw it in the theater. I remembered seeing it today because I do remember seeing the dragon show up in the background with that red sun and all on the big screen. That was something to see at least. Um, and I love the humor in this movie. It's also so darn quotable. Uh, Especially if you see it over and over again. If you see it the first time through, you're hearing the stuff and you know, but once you see it over and over again, you get the humor. And to me, there are so many things that are quotable in this movie, requotable. That is the moment when the dudes say meat, 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 or or
Yeah,
um,
it's like
uh, when the brother Gilbert says, "Turn the other cheek, brother," or um, the biblical things that he says when he's up in the tree and shooting the arrows down at the people. Thou shalt not kill.
right.
Or later, even when the older knight dude gets killed by the woman, and he's like, a girl.
Mhm.
There are so many darn quotable things throughout the movie.
You didn't say my favorite.
Oh,
Mhm.
When he comes up out of the water and he sees all the.
all the sheep.
Yep. And he's got that look on his face. He goes, well, hello.
Mhm.
Well, and of course the old code is something that I really like from the Arthurian, because technically this is done in the world of King Arthur. You know, supposedly Einan is a direct descendant of the King Arthur family, supposedly the Pendragon family, supposedly. But in any case, I enjoy this movie for what it is. It's kind of a action adventure fantasy comedy. I think Dennis Quaid has a lot of comedic value in here. So does the dragon. And Sean Connery, yeah, well, he voices the dragon. I think Sean Connery has a very distinctive voice.
But I think they did a good job by picking him to do this.
Yeah, I think so.
Pretty much, yeah.
So,
I mean, there's
that being said,
some actors, when you watch certain movies and stuff, that you're like, I don't think anybody else could have done it. And this is one of them. Just like I don't think anybody else could have played Hook like Robin Williams did.
well,
Well, not he didn't play Hook; he played Peter Pan. But I mean,
Dustin Hoffman played Hook.
right? But I think them picking Robin Williams to play Peter
Played
Pan
Peter
in that
Pan.
movie was perfect. You know, just like I think them picking Sean Connery to do Draco in this movie was perfect. I think they totally got the
Who?
actor right.
Yeah, I think so. Although one wonders why they actually had two different people playing the younger versions of the people. But whatever,
Right.
it's a little weird. It's almost like they chose the one actor to be him, and then they didn't want to use him later on. I don't know why, but in any case,
Well, because they went from at this time to 12 years later, and they probably did not want to do all the maybe they didn't want to do all the making up of somebody 12 years later. Maybe
uh,
they found somebody that looks like this person like 12 years later. That's
yeah,
probably easier.
Right.
Yeah. So, and I think, if you didn't really know that they switched actors, I think they did a good job doing that.
well, they were already spending a lot of money on the CGI effects of the dragon. How do you expect that they could turn around and pay the makeup people? Right?
I'm just saying, I think they did a good job though with the transition. I mean,
Uh,
he does look
Actually, yeah. Before you said it, I didn't even know there was a switching of the actors.
Yeah, there was. The young Einen was someone entirely different, and I didn't know until I looked it up that you know Kara was someone different when like you first see her show up and
but that's why I
accidentally
said
push him into the.
they did a good job of switching them. You know,
Uh, Pretty much, yes. Like I said, I didn't even know.
Well, I knew at least on the main actor King or whatever. I knew he was a different person even way back then. It's just I didn't know Kara was someone different. That one blew my mind. So because
Okay,
they looked fairly similar.
right.
But whatever. Tammy, did you want to bring us into the plot line?
well, basically, um,
It starts with Einen being schooled by a master.
by a night, yes, he's being taught the old code. He's teaching them how to fight, and everything, and he's trying to instill upon him the old code because his Einen's father is not a very good ruler. You know,
He's bloodthirsty.
right? He definitely is.
Yeah, maybe even worse than Idol was.
So, the knight doesn't want Einen to grow up to be like his father. he wants when the king passes, he wants Einen to go back to the way things were, with you know, the knights, the old code,
when there was chivalry and valor and honor,
Yes.
right?
And while he's trying to teach him this, they get interrupted because there is a battle going on with his father and the
The
peasants.
people the peasants that he appears to try to govern.
So they all take off to this fight, and lo and behold, the
Well,
peasants have actually had enough.
it looks like Einen's father has actually gone into the village on his own without any soldiers involved to light the roofs of the peasants on fire.
And unbeknownst to him, they're all hiding to ambush him,
Correct.
which he basically deserves.
Yeah,
So they
but
ambush him. They ambush him and
go
take
ahead.
him down, and Aiden is watching all this, and he goes to try and help. Sort of. He goes to try to help, but he has no problem taking the crown once he realizes that his father is down. I mean,
Well,
he
yeah.
even yells at him, "Die! It's mine!" as he's yanking it from his hands.
Yep.
Actually, yeah. Uh, at that moment, I thought Einlund might turn out to be a good guy because he was kinda overthrowing his father, who was said to be a tyrant, but then he turned out to be almost as bad.
I had a feeling the minute he grabbed that crown and said, "Die, it's mine," and yanked it from his dying father's hands, right then and there, I had a feeling he ain't gonna be any better.
Ha!
You know,
Okay, maybe you have a point.
he didn't even, care about his father dying or any, he just cared about getting that crown, which kind of said what he really cared about.
Well, as far as we know, the father didn't deserve any better either.
No, but you just kind of got to see a sense of him by him doing that.
Huh. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
And then the accident happens where his heart gets pierced by something that was on that pole.
Yep. A girl with red hair jumps down from above and accidentally knocks into him, which pierces his heart. And right away, it looks like she regrets it, but unfortunately, it can't be helped. It happened, and he is taken to, I guess, where his mother is, and Einen follows, and Einen was trying to stop him from going anyway, but he was headstrong and young and well, he shows up and mommy and the knight of the old code are standing there, and he tells her that he's in dire straits and that there is absolutely no hope and nothing that they can do. But she looks to these dragon figurines that are nearby, and she's like, there is one more thing that we can do. And so she has the soldiers take her son and the Knight of the Old Code to a cave that supposedly is on their land or nearby or whatever. And she calls upon a dragon. Apparently, she's known about this dragon for quite some time. She might even revere him in some way. Well, in any case, she asks for his help, and the dragon knows exactly what she's asking for. The Knight of the Old Code does not entirely, and the dragon pretty much is somewhat against it, but agrees anyways.
Right.
But
So
he makes Einan promise himself that he will promise to honor the old code and come to him and learn things and whatnot and all that jazz. And then he's like, okay, now stand back and witness a thing that is older than mankind or something of that nature. And he takes half of his heart and puts it into Einan, which infuses with his and makes it whole.
Have my heart to make you whole.
Correct. And so 12 years later, what happens?
Well, we see that.
becomes a bad fool.
Yes, Aiden is. Well, on the way back to the castle, Aiden says something about rebuilding this castle, and one of the other guys says, "Well, that will take like hundreds of men," and he's like, "I know, And then you see,
and then that's when it says 12 years later.
Yes,
a little bit after that, and I believe that he has captured three people who originally led the rebellion against his father, and one of them just so happens to be the red-haired girl's father, and he speaks up and says something about letting him go and all that jazz and at first you think that he's going to let him go, but then he tells his men to go blot out his eyes, so he makes him blind. And then of course, you also see. I think that's when you see 12 years later after that, because then you see him blind and being helped by the red-haired girl.
Kara.
Yep, Kara. And she ultimately tries to help get him some water, and he tells her she should not be there. She, because he's afraid that she will be found and stuff like that. Well, she is, but the Knight of the Old Code shows up just in time, if I remember correctly. Unfortunately, if I remember correctly, he kills the girl's father.
Right, because he doesn't think of as death is not a punishment; it's a release.
And actually, I don't think the Knight of the Old Code shows up here. He shows up.
He showed up before then because he was trying to free them. you know.
Correct.
And then that's when,
That's right. That's why he blotted out his eyes.
right, and that's when the knight takes off to go try and find. He takes off to the cave to go
Uh,
yell at
the
to
dragon.
challenge the dragon. Yes,
And he said he will take the rest of his life to hunt him down.
right, and
Ba-
that's when
ba-
we start seeing the hunting of the dragon.
yep. So he does hunt a dragon down, and he runs into a poet slash priest, or should I say monk?
He's more like a monk,
Yeah, he's more like a monk. So
like
he's yeah,
scholarly.
he's trying to be a poet or a scribe. Scribe,
Yeah.
there we go. A scribe. That's
A
more like it.
squad.
A scribe, not a squab. But a scribe nonetheless, because he is trying to write poetry, trying to write script, and it is perchance that he comes across the Knight of the Old Code, because he starts using some describing words that he'd never heard, that he never thought he had in him, you know, because he begins to speak eloquent words, and he's like, "What the hell did I say? What the hell did I just say?" you know. So he's a little bit absent-minded, but he's got a good heart. Brother
Right.
Gilbert, and I like Pete Apostleweight in that role, because he gets very biblical when he goes all Robin Hood with the whole bow and arrow thing later on, um, which is kind of comical in his own right, but um, the way he sees it, Bowen is the true thing, the real deal. I mean, he's killed one dragon, and then it looks like he went and went to go kill another. So in his mind, he is the real deal. He never saw him kill the second one, but to his mind and whatnot, he inspired him, you know.
Well, yeah,
But
when he starts following him around and he goes and sits on those what he thinks are rocks.
yeah,
That was
it,
cool.
yeah, and then of course Bowen, which is the Knight of the Old Code,
Gets to meet the
uh,
dragon.
he ends up getting in a battle with this dragon and gets his sword stuck in the roof of his mouth.
Well, before that though, the trip through the forest was quite funny.
Oh yeah, he
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 had him in tow.
yeah, he had a towing grappling hook that he attached to the dragon's foot, and at first you thought that the dragon was caught, but he took him on a George of the Jungle trip through the woods, and this is where you see some of the humor. Let's go visit the woods.
Watch out for that tree.
Oh, that must have hurt.
Yep.
Right.
And then,
And then
of course, the darn thing gets caught in a tree and takes him down, and they have kind of a sword fight. And Draco's tail is kind of like an axe when it slices things apart. So when it comes down, It comes down relatively close to Bowen and can be quite the slicing mechanism, you know. But
During the match, yes, Bowen ends up in his mouth, and then they have the will. Who's got the will?
And he actually spent quite some time in his mouth. I mean, it got dark and he was still in his mouth.
yeah, which
Yeah,
was
it's a matter
comical.
of wits on this one because it's like, he goes and he gets that arm or whatever out of his teeth, and he's, oh well, thank you.
That's been there for weeks.
And he's like, well, I can go 3 days, and he's like, well, I can go 3 weeks. It's like,
Why don't we have a truce? And so Bowen gets out, and they kind of have a truce, and they kind of discuss what they could do and whatnot.
right,
And so,
because if Bowen kills him, then that's the last dragon, and he doesn't have any work. And if that, and then he would be there would be no more dragons. So the truce is trying to fight it so that Draco doesn't die and Bowen doesn't get out of work.
well, and the dragon then also learns that he doesn't trust dragons really all that much, all due to one dragon. Except he doesn't tell him right away that he is that dragon, you know.
Right.
Right.
And and while they have contracted this new con together, Bowen is also trying to come up with a name for him, throughout their adventures or whatnot. And I guess he comes up with the name of Draco because evidently, even around that time, that's what they called the formation of the stars. Which, as we know, if you know anything about astrology or astronomy, there is a group of stars that is known as Draco.
Draco is also the Latin word for a dragon.
Well, yeah, and that's why he was like, so you'd just be calling me dragon in another language, huh?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I
But
know
the,
it sounds silly.
but Draco is all for it because he's like he'd be honored to be named after those stars.
Yep. And the whole reason why he even gave half his heart, anyways, is because dragons cannot reach that heaven unless they do like a really fucking good deed, you know. Because he said that whole area of stars is like the Draco is like the dragon heaven, you know. And not every dragon has some disappear, but some have become connected with the stars, you know.
Yes.
But that's later that they're talking about that. Now, Tammy, talk about the new con that Bowen and the dragon come up with.
Oh, Draco goes and um, I guess you want to say slightly terrorizes a village to where Bowen shows up and it's like, I see you're in need of a dragon slayer, and then the
Except
village.
it's gonna take 2 bags of gold.
Uh, I'm sorry, guys. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Except it's gonna take 2 bags of gold. Right?
Yep. Well, yeah, because he had already done it once for this idiot. You know, that was at the beginning when he got that one dragon.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
And I
he
do
doesn't.
believe
He's so, and what I mean by somewhat terrorizes it. Yeah, he starts this on fire and he starts that on fire, but he's not trying to actually
kill
hurt.
anyone.
No, even as he's flying, is yelling, "Get out of the way! Out of the way!"
Out of the way, out of the way, out of the way. But anyways, I do believe he does take a javelin or some kind of a spear and stick it into this contraption and then shoot it at him when he's flying in, and Draco just kind of takes the spear, put it under his arm, and he begins to fall, and then he sinks into the lake. And as Bowen is going down the side of the lake, I guess you can see him swimming next
Right.
to him. And then that's when he peeks his head out, and he's like, "Mm."
And he sees the sheep.
What does he say next?
He sees the sheep, and he's got this really neat look on his face, and he goes, "Whoa,
Tammy,
hello."
what does he say next?
I did. I just said it.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. You can't hear me?
Okay, I guess we
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
I'm on my phone because my um iPad wouldn't charge up on this cord over here. So, but in any case, so what was the last thing that you heard from me?
You said to say what he said, and I said when he came up out of the water, he had a really cute look on his face, and he saw the sheep, and he said, "Oh, well, hello."
And of course, I do believe that they did get the two bags of gold from that one. But it's around this time that we actually, and I do believe that we actually,
We go back to seeing Kara tries
Kara,
to. She tries to attack Lyman and gets caught.
correct. Iden sees her in the mirror, and he basically has her thrown in the dungeon. Um, and then I guess he goes away and thinks, and then he comes back to her, and he's like, "I remember you. You were the one who gave me the scar, and actually, I kind of owe you." But that's not before she like
Tries to
screamed
stab
all
him.
the way down that it was him who killed her father.
And that's when we see the connection between Einan and Draco because she does stab him, and
Uh,
it makes Draco fall over too.
Yep.
okay, guys, I'm sorry for disappearing. I had kind of an emergency to attend, but now I'm back.
Ah.
Okay,
Okay.
so yes, and um, Einan decides he tries talking with her when you almost think that he's actually sincere because he's trying to tell her to teach him how to have
Oh,
empathy.
that's later. That's in another scene. But he eventually does want her to teach him how to love because he's never experienced it before. And I think at the time before she accidentally stabbed him, he thought that she was the most beautiful thing that he'd ever seen. You know, you could see it in his eyes before he got stabbed that he thought she was beautiful. Like, and I think that's
Well,
why
she
he told her
was.
that she was beautiful. You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
but
he'd never been taught about girls and females and all that jazz. All he knew was his mother. You know,
but yep. And
Right.
finally, after he tells her all that and he leaves, then his mother shows her how to get out of there. And then that's next thing. The next thing you see with um Draco and um Bowen,
Bowen.
because they come to the
Yep.
village, her village.
Well, she goes to her village and tries to get their help, and they and start a new fight because her daddy died. You know, but they end up throwing mud at her and almost basically casting her out from their village or whatever because they don't want to poke the bear, if you know what I mean. They don't want to upset anything because they already tried and look what happened. You know. Uh,
Right.
so um, they are under the mindset that they can't do anything, and that's when Bowen comes in and Draco shows up and he basically convinces them that he needs a maiden, a sacrificial maiden. And at first he jokes that it could be one of the three daughters of that one dude with the eye patch. Um, and he's like, "No!" And then of course, in the next moment you see the Kara all muddied and stuff being dragged to the lake, and she's like, "No, I grew up with you guys. I am part of you." And so that's when that's when Bowen goes to the dragon and he explains that yeah, they all think that you need a maiden,
And he's
a
like, "Well,
sacrificial maiden. Well,
and who
who
gave him
put
that
that
idea?"
idea?
He's like, "What am I supposed to do with her? I don't know. Just eat her."
uh, and he basically tells him to make something up or go along with it or you know.
Just eat her.
And so he flies in, grabs her up, and then Bowen goes and finds them, and he's basically singing to her, and he's like, "Where were you? What, you were worried about me? You should have eaten her."
Right.
And all that jazz. And at first, she's like all defensive against him, and that's when he's like, "Where were you? We were looking for you. Now we got a whole village looking for you." And of course, the dragon that then Drago ends up going into the cave with the waterfall, and he's like, quiet, they're approaching. And when he means they, it means Einan and his troop of army dudes, or whatever army that he has on hand, which consists of that older guy that seems to have called Bowen a babysitter,
Well, yeah, he's like
or called him a nursemaid.
he's Einen's like right hand man,
Yeah, but he was also the king's right hand man too. You know,
Right.
but
Right.
in any case, this is a moment where he comes and fights with Bowen, and now the dragon and him had actually had a conversation before this about how Einan actually it wasn't because of him, and that he is the way he is. Einan chose to be this way. You know,
Mhm.
he chose to be evil. He chose to walk this path, and Bowen was insistent that he brought him up in the old ways, and he expected him to have the same thoughts and the same values because he brought him up that way, and all that jazz. And he's insistent that you know it, that he did and was that way. And the dragon was like, I was fine. My heart, whatever it was fine. In fact, I basically thought that once I put my heart in his, that it would change him in some way, but evidently it did not.
Yeah, and
The evil was
uh,
there.
Right. And at this point, Bowen and I end up getting into a match, and I don't even admits I just said this stuff to say it. I just wanted you to teach me how to fight, so I just said whatever to make you happy.
yeah, there was a
He
time
admits that he
when
was just saying.
what?
There was a time, what?
There was a time when Bowen was blaming the dragon for Idol going bad.
Yes, there was. But he also didn't know that this was he was the dragon that put the heart into Einan until later on. He actually by the time he actually told him, they were in Avalon, I believe.
And by the time, but before that, Iden admits in front of Bowen and Draco that he just said the words to say the words. When
Yep.
he's having that fight with Bowen, he's like, I didn't mean any of that, you know.
Yeah.
I just said what you wanted to hear.
Yeah,
Yep.
which kind of makes sense.
But it made true on
But
what the
that's
dragon
that's
was
when
actually saying.
but at this moment too is when Iden realizes that the dragon exists because he comes to Bowen's defense
Yep. And
and
he
he
opens up
shows
his
Iden
heart.
his heart. Yep.
Yep. And it affects him, which made him realize that his immortality is only there because of that dragon. But it's also
Yeah.
not until he realizes that once an arrow pierces his heart later on, I believe when the brother pierces his heart, he thinks he's immortal. You know, but
Yeah,
but and there's a big but. Now,
big
uh,
but.
now that Kara knows about the dragon and the con, she's got it in her mind that they can use the dragon to convince the people to fight against Einan. And so
Cool.
the next people that they try to con, and I don't think they should have even tried to con these people, but they did so anyways. This is a people that looks like they were like cannibals anyways, and it looks like they live in a swampy area. And when Draco and them pull their shit, he does not sink. And
Cool.
Kara
Yeah.
comes in and tells these people that he is a fake. And then, of course, she attempts to say that he's in league with the dragon.
Which makes everybody laugh.
Yep. Then, of course, that's when Brother Gilbert actually walks in and Kara meets Brother Gilbert for the first time. And that's why I mentioned earlier that Brother Gilbert, to him, he is the world's greatest dragon slayer he's ever seen. Because as far as he knows, he's killed one dragon, and the other one, well, he was about he rode off to kill that one too. So, in his mind, because he's kind of his inspiration, he's kind of put Bowen on a pedestal, you know.
Yep.
So at first they were able to trick him, but then uh, they he doesn't sink, and they think that they've got real meat on the table now. Because they start shouting meat, 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 meat. But then he realizes that they're really after him, so he escapes. And then
Yeah,
they
that
turn
was almost.
to them three, and they chant the same words at them, and that's when they say, "I think it's time to run."
Right.
So Boa does, and he goes and gets his horse, and then he goes and picks up Kara, and the brother is just standing around like not realizing what the fuck to do, you know. And then it looks like they're coming after him, and once he picks up Kara, he goes back and picks up him, and then they end up getting surrounded. But then the dragon picks the whole entire horse up, and then they're flying, and that's when they go to Avalon. And now
Yeah.
Bowen is totally against this whole like dragon helping the people crap. And the brother agrees to help go back with Kara. And then of course the dragon Draco actually agrees to go back with them too. And it seems like Bowen is all alone. And then it begins to rain. And while they're there, he begins to think that he is actually hearing the words of the night of the words of the code spoken to him by the actual King Arthur. You know, at least they make it seem like it's coming from him. You know,
Yes.
and that's when Draco comes back and gives him shelter. Now she has actually gone back with the brother to go and convince the leader of her people to begin to fight, and that's when he's like, "You and what army?" And that's when an arrow shoots into to something that he had in his hand, and that's when Bowen shows up, and he's like, "I'm about to go start a fight." Yeah, you and what army? And that's when the dragon flies up against the red sun, and you see the great wingspan of his wings and shit. Which is a good part. Um, and so uh, then this is when they begin to teach people how to fight. And the first thing I think you see is, or the first thing I think you hear is Bowen asking the brother whether he's ever shot an arrow before, and he's like, never. Okay, so this is what you do: you aim, and then you shoot. And he shot the damn straw dummy in the head, and then is the guy next to him was like, oh, that must have been pure luck. So he has him do it again, and then he shoots the other one in the crotch, and he's like, "Brother Gilbert, you're a natural." But then he goes over to Karen. She's trying to hack a piece of wood with an axe, and she's doing it all fumbly and shit. So he kind of teaches her how to strike with the axe. And then, of course, that's another quotable thing, like a pudding. Evidently, they like that line so much that she repeats it later. But whatever.
Actually, that was funny. Yeah.
But in any case, I guess the king's right hand man sends his falcon into the air, and then he comes over the rise, and he realizes that he gets scared by the dragon and seeing them training, and so he runs back to the king. Speaks to the king's people, and he's like, "I need more men." And the one guy's as saying, "You can't honestly think that they have more men than we do." And even up until the very end, when they stand up against them, he's like, "You can't honestly think that they'd be bold enough to try to fight through our gates and our defenses." And then all
Uh,
of a sudden, the dragon starts breathing fire on everything.
yes.
But I'm going to hand this back to you, Tammy. Is there a piece that I haven't spoken of yet?
Not really. I mean, we see the training and everything, and then um, well, right before this battle, Ian's mother gives him a present of
A legion
dragon.
of dragon slayers.
Yes, but Ian doesn't see the significance of this yet. Not quite
Yeah,
yet.
he must have been pretty bad if even his mother decided he should die.
But he doesn't see the significance of it yet. It's not until during the battle when he gets an arrow pierces his heart and you see Draco fall too. Ian sees Draco fall then he realizes that they're connected, and he races back to after he tells everybody retreat. He races back to the castle and says, "Don't hurt the dragon. I want him in one piece. Don't hurt the dragon." And then
Yes.
he realizes that they are connected, and he he has that confrontation with his mother, and she says that she was trying to right a wrong by having the dragon slayer by hiring the
She
dragon slayer.
she actually called him a creature.
A
Right,
creature not worth saving.
Correct.
right. And then
Yeah.
he says your favorite line, David.
A girl.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
How unmotherly of you.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of know a lot of the dialogue for this movie.
And then we see them go off, and you hear her scream, so you just assume that he killed his mother.
Yep.
In the meantime, Bowen is trying to get everybody together to go storm the castle to save the dragon.
Yep.
So um,
And at first, it's just the brother Gilbert and Kara who go into the castle. But as it turns out, it seems like the leader of the people actually brings some of his own people in to take care of the inside work of getting the gate to open, so that the people can storm the castle.
right.
You
So
know?
there's multiple fights going on inside the castle and everything, and um, then Aiden's right hand man and Kara end up in a fight together. And this is your other part.
Yep, because Kara, at first, she tries to axe him, and it does nothing to him, and she ends up taking and trying to wield this like large battle axe that one of the slayers was not able to use against the dragon, and this guy is like, well, let me cut that down to size, and he cuts it, but then doesn't realize that she can wield it now, and take the axe and shove it right into his stomach. And right then he turns around. He's like, "A girl, a girl,"
Oh
as if he
yeah.
couldn't believe a woman could kill him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
That
the thought process at the time was that women were weak.
if
But
that was his
Well, yeah.
logic, uh, then he really had one hell of a humiliation that he deserved.
Yes. So
yes,
yes, all these fights are going on and everything, and then um, Bowen thinks he's defeated Iden, and he's talking to Draco, and Draco's like, "No, it will never be over until I'm dead, because we are connected." And he's trying to tell him, "No, he's dead," and he's like, "No, he's not." and
Well, he's
he's
not.
trying to get him to he's still telling him to strike. You need to strike now. And Bowen won't listen. He even breathes fire at him.
Yep,
Yes.
he's trying to incite him into uh, killing him, but it doesn't appear to be working. It's not until Einen takes and tries to put a knife to Kara's throat that he decides to pick up the axe.
Well,
And
yeah, because
after,
Draco moves his leg so that Aiden ends up dropping the knife, and Kara gets away. So then it's a matter. Then Aiden is coming after Bowen, and that's when Bowen, you see the what's he gonna do? Is he gonna throw it at Aiden or is he gonna throw it at Draco?
yeah,
And then the real decision comes down, and he does throw it at Draco, which kills them both.
correct. And
Yes.
unfortunately, Bowen is like, well, now that you're gone, what are we gonna do? You know, because Draco was the last dragon, according to Draco,
And yet
and that's a big thing.
they appreciated his wisdom. His they he was wise, and he gave them all courage. So he doesn't feel like he doesn't know what they're gonna do now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's when he disintegrates and tells him to look to the stars.
Yep. To the stars, Bowen. To the stars. And that's when you get the. Now, this is a movie that uses music well.
Then,
The
well,
score.
yeah, then
Do, 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 do,
and the
do, do,
narrator
do.
says that Bowen and Kara go on to lead the people. You know,
Yep, they lead the people in what they call the golden years or something like that, because it's Brother Gilbert who kind of narrated the movie in the beginning and also in the end here.
yep.
So, but in any case, do believe that we have reached the end of our film. Now we should talk about production. So,
I
what do
think
you think?
production was awesome. I think they used just enough of the AI or whatever, or
CGI
to
indeed.
make Draco. I don't think they overdid it. I think he looked very realistic, just like if you want to compare it to Jurassic Park. I think he made Draco look very, very realistic and without overdoing it.
Yes.
I think the period, with the costumes and the setting and everything, that was perfect. I think it had a very good storyline. Like I said, I think this was like an all ages type of a movie, also, which there's not many of them that are, nowadays that are out there. But at this time, I think this was definitely something that all ages could enjoy.
Okay.
So,
What about you, Boris?
I also think the production was pretty good. Okay, maybe nowadays they would have made Draco a little bit more realistic, but for 1996 it was really well done. I mean, nowadays we have AI and all sorts of stuff, but back then it was just CGI and it was not quite as developed as it is nowadays. So yeah, that's pretty good, I'd say. And yeah, all the special effects, especially the final battle scene with Draco breathing fire and all that, it was all really well done, I'd say.
Okay. Is that pretty much it then?
I think so.
Okay. And me, I think the production was pretty darn good. I I thought the dragon was the best part of the film. It definitely did look realistic to me. Um, and the voice of Sean Connery was perfect for the dragon itself. I mean, the humor went along with what was needed. Uh, you were able to laugh at some of Draco's jokes, and you could definitely laugh at Bowen's. So um,
It was a
it
nice
was
mix of
yes,
drama, hum- comedy, and the whole time of the kings and the knights and all this stuff. It was a nice mix of everything.
I agree.
True.
And I like the cast of characters. I mean, yeah, it was kept to a bare minimum, but you could definitely see that there were other um, extras like those that would fill up the people who were actually building the new castle or whatnot, and the people who made up the villages and whatnot. But yeah, it was definitely a time period, and I do like the storyline um, as far as anything else. But I know that the music was kind of detrimental to um, the film. I thought the music was one of the strong points of the movie. What do you guys think?
I think
At least the score.
the score went along with it really good. I mean,
I mean, the score was put together by Randy Edelman, and he was known for The Last of the Mohicans, 6 Days, 7 Nights, Triple X. I guess he did the composer for the original MacGyver theme. Um, and I guess let's see. Okay, so he was a conductor and an orchestrator in The Mummy, The Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. He was a composer for Underdog, the movie. A version of the Ten Commandments, Miss Congeniality 2, some additional music there. A lot of the Beethoven's later movies. Let's see. Let's see. But yeah, for Richard Porter, was part of that too. Anaconda, he was a conductor of uncredited. Okay. Oh, and the Indian in the cupboard, Tall
I think
Tale.
he did a good job. He had the right music in the right places and everything. I think
Oh, he
so.
was the composer for the theme music for the Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. And a conductor and music producer behind the mask 2 years earlier, and Angels in the Outfield.
Ah,
So just looking. Oh yeah, he was a big part of the music behind Beethoven. And my
Oh,
cousin Benny and Kindergarten Cop and Elvin and the Chipmunks. Oh, so he did a lot of the cartoon stuff for the music for the Chipmunks. Okay, cool. Alrighty. Well, in any case, let's go into favorite scenes and our favorite characters.
me first.
All right, I suppose.
Draco's my favorite, of course.
Favorite what?
Um, Character. He's
Oh,
my favorite character. He'll always be my favorite character. Um,
but he's a
favorite.
reptile.
What?
I said, but he's a reptile.
I don't care.
Mm.
Favorite scenes. There's so many cool ones. I mean, when at the beginning,
Hello.
when he's sitting on the rock and
Yeah,
he's doing this his quill, and you just see the eye open and close, the eye open and close. It's like the dragon's there. The dragon's there. Um, and the battle of wits between Bowen and Draco when he's in his mouth, and of course when he comes up out of the water and he sees the sheep and he's like, "Oh, hello." Even the look on his face in that one is just awesome. But you know, anytime you see like him walking along, like one of my favorite parts is when they're walking in the field and he's just walking alongside Bowen, and he just, to me, he looks just so real right there in
and
that particular.
majestic.
Right, in that particular one, the way he's walking and everything, he just looks so real, you know.
It makes
It's,
me
it's
think of the lion Aslan from the Chronicles of Narnia.
yeah. So, like I said, I have many favorite parts, but that particular one is one of my favorites though too. When he's walking in that field like that, and of course the one when he comes up with that red background, that's just really cool. But I could sit here and keep telling you parts and parts about, but on to somebody else.
Yep, you like everything about the movie.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, let's go over to you, Boris. Favorite scenes and our favorite characters.
I think my favorite character is also Draco, and my favorite scene, I think I would go with the final battle when they finally went to overthrow Island, and when they were all the fire breathing, all the destructions, all the spudouts.
Ah.
That was probably the coolest part to me.
Okay. Is there any specific one that you like?
Oh, uh, I think when they burned the castle, if I remember correctly.
Oh, you mean when Draco burns the castle?
Yes, yes, of
Right,
course.
right after the one dude's like, they wouldn't even dare try to storm the gates, would they?
All right. Yes, that was pretty much the best part.
Okay. Well, I think that Draco is my favorite character too. I guess I'm kind of similar, at least in that thought press. I do like the part where Draco comes up all the water. It's like, hello. And when he comes towards the villagers and he's like, out of the way, out of the way, out of the way. And then, all the various quotable things. Meat, meat, meat.
Yeah, that almost sounded like they were going to
But I
eat
think my
him in their
favorite
food.
part is when Kara actually kills the one dude, and he turns around. He's like, "A girl, a girl." So those are my some of my favorites. I do also like the part where Bowen is spoken to in Avalon by the dragon to almost like revitalize his vows as a knight.
Yes.
A knight knows only valor. His word is only virtue. His wrath undoes the wicked. His might undoes the weak. That kind of thing.
Right.
In any case, did anyone else have anything else to add?
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, hopefully I do know that this movie was produced by Universal, so that was something. And I know this movie is played and played and played on TV constantly. At least over in the U.S. If you have not seen the film, go out and see it. It's not a bad movie from 1996. Once you go see it, come back here. Let us know what you thought of the movie. Then what you thought of our discussion. Then whether you thought whether we were right or wrong. And I'm sure one of us will be able to let you know what we thought right back. We can have constant, endless discussions on this. And I could go over and over with you how many scenes of this movie are so memorable, but only you can learn how good this movie is. So let us know, and I guess we'll see you in 2 weeks because here in this country we're going to be celebrating 250 years of being, shall I say, the United States of America. Or should I say, celebrate our Independence Day?
Fair enough.
But in any case,
So we will not be on next week, unfortunately.
nope. So enjoy yourselves, and those of you who helped follow along, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. And I do believe that we'll be going on about the American version of Shudder next time.
And those of you that are from the U.S., I hope you have a very nice, safe, and nice celebration of the 4th of July.
Correct. So let those fireworks go off without a hitch. In any case, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time here on not Inside Move, Delusions of Grandeur. Although we are a subsidiary of Inside Movies Galore, we are connected in some way, shape, or form. Everyone say good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.